Wanted to lay out some basic ground questions for folks that have never heard your music or are familiar with your band. So we can start right off with, how long ago did you start making music? And was it with No Longer Human? Or was it another project? Or was it just, screwing around and didn't have a name?
I started making music so many years ago, but it was under actually a different name. And it had a different intention. I started with a project called Varix. I don't know why it was called that. No real reason. I was a kid.
Okay.
It had a V and an X at the time. Right. Really good thing. At the time, I was obsessed with a label out of Germany called Ant-Zen. And they were mostly associated with either power noise or ambient noise. Bands like Noisex, Converter, PAL. And they were doing these incredibly complex, like, packaging. Ant-Zen did this sheet metal for CD cases, and they would do pieces of broken mixers and box sets, and everything was limited to 40. I was obsessed with it. Just Scott Sturgis from both Pain Station and Converter, I still think the guy's a genius. It would blow my mind at what they could get away with electronics, and I wanted to do that. Well, no. I mean, Varix was a interesting thing for me because it actually showed some signs of what I ended up doing with No Longer Human. But it was very much just, it was noise. I think it was MySpace at the time. I was seeing how friendly a lot of the people in both the genre that I'm in now and the noise genre, very close-knit. And they were reaching out and saying, well, does anybody want to be on these compilation that we're doing, this compilation? For me, that was like big-time rock star stuff, like having your music released and not just on your...
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so I sort of trepidatiously approached this label that I don't think is even, I'd have to go look for it, because it was a 2-cassette compilation. That's how long ago we are. Like, I think there's 300 in existence, and I have 3 of them. They said, oh yeah, this is great stuff. And I haven't even heard that song that was released in years, but when I did go back to it, I was already trying to build an intro that was probably too long. I was already using samples from movies. For me, that was big time. I mean, I have this thing that was released, and it was sort of the end of the era of power noise. You started to see less releases. You started to see people would move more towards power ambient. It was also around the time that I discovered aggrotech, and in particular, Suicide Commando, Agonoize, X Fusion, and it just blew my mind. It was exactly what I've been looking for.